Before we start the video, I'd just like to let you know there are two new redeem codes, both of which give some polychromes. The first is MIYABIRELEASE, all caps, no spaces, and the second is ZZZASSEMBLE, also all caps, no spaces. Now though, as for today's topic, I want you all to forget about Miyabi because we're here to talk about the new hotness that has just been drip marketed, and that is of course Astra Yao and Evelyn Chavelier, the two new characters coming in patch 1.5. Because it feels like with these new reveals, suddenly a lot of people have forgotten all about Miyabi. And honestly, I wouldn't blame them. I'm kind of in the same boat. I will admit though, at least to me, both of these new girls visually look a lot more exciting than Miyabi. Although again, I'm a bit sad we haven't gotten any wacky designs like the original Robo Idols that we saw way back when. But visuals and designs aside, the thing that interested me the most is the fact that Astra is going to be a support, our first support, and Evelyn is going to be an attacker. Yes, Miyabi is super strong and even has her own unique frost anomaly, and I mean it's expected that she would have some sort of special treatment since she is a void hunter after all, but Astra is going to be our first ever limited support agent, and Evelyn is going to be our first quote-unquote real limited S-rank attacker since 1.0's Shuyen. Yes, I know we are about to get Harumasa, but I'll go over that in just a second. With these two new characters on the horizon, I think there's a good argument that the age of Anomaly Zone Zero might finally be over and we're finally going to see attackers making a comeback. And I will say that it's very funny that these two are revealed moments before Lighter's banner ends, because I think I and many others came to the conclusion that Lighter is a very good unit, but at the time of his release, he didn't really have many good teammates to take advantage of what he can provide. Then, lo and behold, Miyabi's kit is revealed and Lighter works amazingly well with her. And now we also have a fire attacker too, who will almost assuredly work well with Lighter. And then Astra Yao, who, as a support, will also work well with Lighter, for reasons I'll get into in just a second. And then, even more, for attackers in general, across the board, the stats of the new event engine, the Marcato Desire, have been revealed, and of course this is the engine that we will all be getting in 1.4, and for its main stat, it gives crit rate. Finally, a good budget attack engine with crit on it, with a very easy condition to trigger that gives even more attack as well. But as mentioned, let's talk about the two new girls and why I think they could cause attackers to make a comeback, starting with Astra. So, although official details of her kit haven't been revealed, we can take some guesses based on her disc set, buffing the whole team whenever quick assists are performed. And as a support agent, I think it's safe to assume that Astra's skills will trigger an assist like everyone else, but I'm guessing she'll also have more ways to do it, like for example a held basic attack similar to Seth. Now, as an ether support, I think the big question is, can she be a replacement for Nicole in a team with Shuyen? And I think the answer is very much going to be a yes. Aside from whatever buffs she can provide to the team, giving Shuyen more chances to switch in via a quick assist is actually really good for her, because this will also give Shuyen an extra bullet when she does do a quick assist. So, Astra already has good synergy with Shuyen, and I would like to think that she will also work really well with Evelyn, since after all, they are in the same faction. And you know who else could work well with her? Any other agent that can also trigger quick assists. Like for example, Lighter, who can automatically perform one when he has enough of his meter filled. It's all coming full circle. I'm sure that Shuyen, Lighter, and Astra will be a very good team, and then once Evelyn comes out, she can probably replace Shuyen. I think this could be a very interesting team, as the common theme with attack and stun based teams is that you spend most of the time with the stunner and then only do a quick little burst window with the attacker once they are stunned. But in this setup, that might change things. Lighter doesn't need that much time on field to stun the enemy. He just sort of quick assists, comes in, throws out some punches, and then either that's the stun or you can switch back to somebody else. For example, now you could have Shuyen on the field more. But I hear you might be saying, she's weak without her enhanced bullets though, how is she gonna, do any damage? What's the point of being on field with her if she hardly does anything? And that is where Astra Yao spamming those quick assists can help her charge those bullets up, so that it's actually worthwhile to have Shuyen on the field. But next up though, the other agent I'm excited for is Evelyn. Now, I did say that she is our first real attacker since 1.0, because honestly, although Harumasa is cool, his kit really just feels like like an alternate version of Xu Yan, which did kind of disappoint me. Although I can't be too mad since we are getting him for free, but think about it. With every other agent that we've gotten who was a limited S rank, it always felt like they had some crazy new game-changing mechanic or gimmick that we hadn't seen before, even among agents of the same type. Especially actually when it comes to anomaly agents. Maybe less so for the attackers though. For example, Ellen built up charges through dodge attacks. And then Xu Yan also had to build up charges, but through assists or chain attacks. Or also her skill and her regular attack string. Again, that is pretty much the exact same way that Harumasa builds up his stacks. At the end of the day though, all the attackers so far have been built up some form of way to do enhanced attacks, but at least there was some differences between Ellen and Xu Yan. And then we had our stunners. Qing Yi could increase the damage multiplier and had sort of an infinite attack going. And then we had Lighter who could cheat out quick assists and extend the stun duration, sort of like the two opposites of the same coin. And then we had all of the new anomaly agents. First was Jane with the critical anomalies, then Bernice who could apply burn while off field, then Yanagi who can trigger her own special disorders, and now Miyabi with her own unique frost element. Of course, Caesar doesn't really have a comparison, but her kit was way more impactful than any other defender that we had seen just yet, and I'm sure Astra will be the same but for supporters. I'm just hoping that Evelyn brings that same sort of uniqueness as an attacker so that she can stand out from the others. It's a bit harder to predict what Evelyn's kit is going to be, since there's no like disc sets to go off of, although we have seen some examples of animations from the trailers. She attacks with a little like dagger and ropes, so I don't know, maybe tinfoil hat, maybe she can like chain enemies together that she hits, and then when she attacks any one of them, a portion of the damage gets dealt to the rest that are all chained together, like soul linking them, so that she can essentially do like twice the amount of damage to a whole group of enemies depending on how many there are. But I don't know, that's just me speculating. But personally, I feel like one gimmick that I would like to see in the future for an attacker is something to do with cheating out extra chain attacks. That is one of the few things that are already in the game that I don't think has been adapted or expanded upon yet. We've had gimmicks that sort of mess with how anomalies work. We've had gimmicks that cheat out quick assists, i.e. Lighter. We've had stun manipulation stuff, like for example, Qing Yi and Lighter. We've had shield shenanigans with Caesar's own unique one. But what about chain attacks? Also, I only give chain attacks as a reason because if, say, it was an attacker who could do this, typically an attacker would want a stun agent on the team too. And then, that would mean that Collider's team passive might finally be useful, where it increases chain attack damage by 35%. Although, the one caveat to that is that it does still require the enemy to be stunned, so I don't know, maybe introduce a character that can force out chain attacks outside of stun, and then remove that little requirement in Collider's passive, and then boom, I just gave MiHoYo a new character idea. But of course, I am not a game developer, I'm just some random bozo online. But either way, I'm really excited to see what the devs do have in store for us in terms of upcoming characters. And hopefully you guys are too. I'd love to know what you all think though about Astra and Evelyn down in the comments below. Have they in any way swayed your head away from Miyabi? And while you're down there, why not consider liking and subscribing too? But until next time though, I wish you the best of luck in all of your pulls, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!